Hi there, this is Kiwi Joe. I am a remote viewer, and in this video I show you the awesome power of remote viewing. My first two books came out in mid-2019, a mini-series titled Forrest Fenn's Treasure Remote Viewed. The chest came out in May and the location in June the same year. A remote viewer experiences the target as though they've dropped straight into the sight. Maybe it's a cell inside a human body. It could be the top of a mountain on Mars, like a nighttime jump where you parachute into the drop zone in the dark. There are no signposts to tell you where you're going or where you are. All you have is what you see. I shouldn't really use the word see. I mean what you glimpse and feel, touch, taste and hear. These sensors build the sketches I'm going to show you. After watching Troy Barlow's very interesting videos on his YouTube channel and checking out the solve he and his team came up with, I felt motivated to make a video in response. The link to Troy's work is below this video. Forrest Fenn's treasure map comes with a poem. 9 clues he promised could locate the spot he hid the chest. 2 things were certain. It was in the Rockies, but those mountains covered 4 states. It turned out to be this one. I am using some of the drone footage created by Justin G. He has very kindly given me permission. We'll get to that footage in a moment. I want you to focus on the Bighorn River. A long while back, Yellowstone Dam turned a stretch of the river into a beautiful elongated lake. From the lake to the target location is only around 10 miles. That's a healthy hike, if you're up for it. We are looking out from a high tableland onto a vast basin below. To get an idea of the drop, just follow that winding road on the left, the one descending the hill. The drone follows the road along the broad ridge. On the left, you see a white line marking the edge of the hill. It gives you an idea of the distance between the ridge to the basin below. To the right of the white line, the hill appears to move, while the basin remains almost stationary. Google Earth shows the steep angle of the edge of the mountain shelf, where it collides with the rolling plains. The red pin marks the Five Springs campground. Watch out for that red pin. Let's mark that with an X. That is our target. This page comes from a based remote viewing session. It's called an ST. ST stands for Site Template. Suffice to say, it contains the target and a bunch of data in both sketch and text form. It's a critical anchor point for more exploration of the target. While all that may sound unnecessarily technical, there is a reason I'm doing all this explaining. In an ST, the top of the page is always north, the bottom is always south. Not all remote viewing sketches are STs though, so compass directions don't apply to every remote viewing sketch I'm going to show you. See the Google Earth compass to the right. The red arrow points due north. Here, I'll circle it. All the following Google Earth screenshots are orientated to reflect the north-pointing compass. Google Earth is set to meters instead of feet. That was a silly oversight by me, because I use imperial measurements in these remote viewing sketches. I am going to show you what I think are some key features of my remote viewing data, and compare them to the location Troy and his team found with their own solve of Fenn's poem. All the sketches in this video are from Book 2, The Location. Remote viewers make good use of bird's eye views, and there are several in my books. At 65,600 feet, the eagle's flying ridiculously high, but that allows us a good view of the terrain, doesn't it? Let's do comparisons, shall we? See what you think. Lake Bighorn is next to the red pin, so let's circle both of them. Take note of the line running the length of the steeply rising wall. These are rock layers exposed over time by a faster flowing Bighorn River before they built the Yellowstone Dam further downstream. This sketch shows the rock wall as a single element that appears also in the ST. You can see the steeply rising incline with a line running the length of it. Leaving aside that the sketch gives the lake a symmetry it doesn't have, since it is arguably a long, wide, elongated pool in a river, it does look like the Google Earth screenshot. Here, at the north end of the lake, we see the Bighorn River as it makes its exit. During a remote viewing session, we don't experience the target like we're actually looking at a thing. I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. Instead, we probe deeper for more precise data to describe it. The exiting water of the Bighorn River should begin where the word layers appears. Instead, in the circled area, we have a canal that zigzags from the lake. You may be able to make out the two pointy features either side, making it look like I had sketched the shape of a boat. The points at either end also suggest the elongation of the lake. You can see the word water right on the point. Only a 20-degree rotation clockwise and it would be in the correct position, where the Bighorn River continues on its windy way. So, not too bad, the data was coming through. It's very close. The next sketch will show you what I mean. In the circle, you see the word spillway. This is pointing to the Bighorn River exiting the lake at the north end. Take note too of the canal coming away from the side. The waterway is placed bottom left. It's the mirror image of the Bighorn River running from the lake to the dam further upstream. In the two remote viewing sketches, there is something else supporting the location Troy and his team find using their solve. This feature is rising up on the edge of the basin. The rock form provides a solid horizon. It looks like the front teeth in the lower jaw of a giant. That's if you are looking out from inside the open mouth. Let's take a look at the rock formation from 10,000 feet. The circled element is a natural pile. It is quite awe-inspiring. What the remote viewing data is showing is that it forms a fringe around the lake and it is up-thrusted rock. Taking a bird's eye view from 3,280 feet, we see a long jagged rock formation to the east. The reference to teeth comes straight from a remote viewing sketch in my second book. From 13,000 feet from the far side of the lake, we see a skyline on the opposite side that looks like teeth. There are gaps where you can see through it. There is stacked up rock that can fall down. Back to the Google screenshot I showed before, and zooming in. There you go. Looks like shark teeth, right? Shifting to the west, the perspective is from the basin at just over 13,000 feet. And here we have the Five Springs campground. We see the lake in the top left corner. The perspective from this angle and distance is a little deceiving, but dominating the highland behind the red pin are several mountain peaks. Okay, from 30,000 feet, the location of the treasure is marked in that dark crisscross between two peaks in the background. From 20,000 feet, we have a narrow passage between stone walls and two peaks in the background. There is X marks the spot. There are broken walls here. There is a darker place. There is an arrow through the narrow gap. This is the way through. From 3,280 feet, we're looking at Five Springs campground. Finally, this is where we're heading. Notice the spot is at the opening to a cleft in the rim of the tablelands. Rising behind the campground are several peaks. This Google screenshot reveals the target area is in fact backgrounded by 5 mountains. Was my data wrong? The green arrows mark the two peaks directly behind our target. Mount Duncan is to the left. Medicine Mountain is to the right. While the remote viewing sketch places the closest mountain to the left, we do at least have 2 prominent closest mountains, and just as my data shows, they sit on either side. Overall, I find the whole area fits with the data in the second book. Alright. In that book, I also looked for the most recognizable feature of the nearest city to the hidden chest. In February of 2020, I received an email from Diane from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Diane saw a resemblance to the Wyoming State Capitol building in Cheyenne. It was the spire, the golden cupola, and the windows that caught her attention. Diane, I have to admit, I responded in a low-key way. I couldn't confirm one way or the other at the time. Hey, it looks to me like you nailed it. If you're watching this video, well done. Don't forget to click the like button and share this video. I'll see you in a few days with the follow-up when I reach into Book 1, Forrest Fenn's Treasure Remote View, The Chest. I'm going to show you the canyon in Troy's Solve. Thank you for watching and see you next time.